Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all doing well today. If it's your first time joining this channel to watch one of my videos, then thank you so much and welcome. If you are a returning viewer to the channel, then welcome back again and I hope you enjoy this video. So for all of you who have been following this channel for the last while, you will know that I have been doing my Slim World sort of weight loss plan, journey, progress plan, etc. All these words. But so far so good. Everything is going really well. I've got all my stickers on the back. The last sort of few weeks or so I have been incredibly busy at work, incredibly busy out of work, and to be honest, I think the weather's having a real effect on me just now. So it's getting dark much earlier in the evening. My dog is just down there, so just ignore the noise. He's just walking about, he's not going to do anything. So yeah, his name's Rocco. He's a French bulldog. So he's just walking about having a great time. So yeah, so I think, you know, over the last few weeks, as I said, you know, the scales have obviously been still moving in the right direction for me. I know a few people have commented and thought that, you know, their weight loss was maybe not quite the same as what I have been losing, but at the same time my starting weight was much heavier than theirs. And you know, we've all got different metabolisms, we're all very different people. We have different day-to-day lives and jobs and activity and exercise levels as well. So what's normal for one person to do on a day-to-day might be a little bit out of the ordinary for someone else. So I think we just need to all be mindful of that. Certainly at the very beginning I was going to a different group, and even though I was losing weight, I wasn't enjoying the group at all. It wasn't a welcoming atmosphere for me. I didn't feel that the consultant was approachable, and I made a decision to move group, and I think that has been honestly ultimately the best decision that I've made. And I've thoroughly enjoyed taking part in the discussions and the Facebook group. You know, the sort of sharing of ideas and encouraging each other is really, really important to me, and I'm sure so many other people as well, that I wanted to be part of that, and I didn't want to feel uncomfortable, because at the end of the day we all pay to go to Slim World. Rocco, get down please. Sorry. But we all pay to go to Slim World, and it's £5.95 a week. It's not cheap. I wouldn't say it's overly expensive, but it's something that you're actively making an effort to go to and to follow, and so you want to get your money's worth out of it as well, as it's all part of the bigger experience. So far I have been on Slim World for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I've had 15 weigh-ins, and so far so good. In that 15 weigh-ins I have not had a single gain, so I am really, really happy with that. I've not had a maintain either. Every week has been a loss, and I think for me personally I couldn't ask for much more than that. I am currently sitting at a 2 stone 10.5 pounds loss, and my weight loss this week was 1.5 pounds. Now generally every other week is about 2 pounds or slightly more. The lowest weight loss that I've had was on week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, week 7, and it was, we'll have a drink. It was a little bit disappointing. I think this week I shouldn't be disappointed, but I was a little bit, just because I had been really trying very, very hard. And as of the week before I had just £5 to lose, so I really wanted to lose at least 2, and I really would have loved to have lost 2.5. I did make a conscious effort to eat less, so portions wise I was really on track with my portions, and I also had lots of fruit, and I had lots of cauliflower rice and vegetables and chicken and things for lunch. And I must admit, as I said, I was a little bit disappointed, because I did put a lot more effort into it than I normally would, but I should have just done what I normally do, and I might have lost a little bit more. I might not have, who knows. But for anyone who's seen my community post, you will see that I managed to get my engagement ring off. Now I'll just show you very quickly. So my engagement ring and my wedding band are here, And myself and my husband got married last May, and I've only had my engagement ring for just over 2 years. So we got engaged in July 2021, and I always, up until last year when I started gaining weight again, I always got it cleaned. So I took it to the jewellers, and if you have a diamond card, they'll allow you to go into the jeweller that you bought your ring from and get it cleaned for free. So the last time these rings were cleaned was before we got married. It was the week of our wedding last year in May. We got married on the 7th of May, and at one point earlier on this year, I essentially gave myself a pressure sore on underneath my ring. So for anyone who doesn't know what that is, essentially pressure on your skin which causes damage to the tissue, and it was incredibly inflamed, it was incredibly sore, and anytime I washed my hands I had to thoroughly make sure that everything was really dry, which is very difficult when your rings are incredibly tight on your fingers. Now, my engagement ring has always been pretty tight, but that was because I didn't want to lose it, and I wanted to make sure that if I did lose a bit of weight, it would still fit me. The wedding band is is one size bigger, just so I can fit both of the rings on together, because it's quite a tight. If any of you've got, if you wear your wedding band and your engagement ring or your eternity ring, the more rings you have on your finger, the tighter it becomes, and obviously it causes much more of an indentation in your finger as well when you try to get the rings off. So it's quite a thick band on there, and you can probably see my finger still sort of swollen as such. But I can assure you, a few months ago, that was most days out of the week quite red and inflamed looking, and it's not like that anymore. So even though I only lost my 1.5 pounds this week, it's still a huge amount of weight to lose. And I have also been able to wear clothes that I've bought ages ago that I forgot about, and I then found and tried on again. And hold on, sorry, Rocco, get down please. He's very nosy dog. But yeah, I think that in itself is a massive achievement for me. It's something that I really wanted to do from the very beginning of starting Summer World and beforehand, and getting into clothes that I've bought and I already own and now fit me again is a really good place to be at. I've also been able to recruit at least 2 or 3 people from my team to join, or at least follow some of the aspects of Summer World as well at work, which is just really good. So yeah, I think that in itself is a really big achievement for me, just to sort of be a bit of a role model, and I think just encourage other people to see it can be done, and we're all in it together. So I think even just giving them the support of knowing that I've done it for a while and I can give them some hints or tips, and I can also give them the sort of straight talk encouragement as well, because I think when you're new to something and you don't know anyone else that's doing it, it's a really difficult place to be. Fortunately for me, I had done Summer World in the past before, but I've never ever lost as much weight as I have than what I have at the moment with Summer World. It's always been round about a stone or so, and maybe gain and lose, and eventually I just sort of lost concentration with it. I lost the enjoyment out of it. But a firm decision for me is that to always use your app. If you are following the Summer World sort of plan, the app is a game changer for me. Years ago they didn't used to have that, and I think that for me has been a really good way of tracking everything. I have used MyFitnessPal before, which is a very similar app. It's a very similar layout and sort of design with the little barcode scanner at the top, similar to NutriCheck as well. So if you're using something like that, or if you've used it, the Summer World app is very closely aligned to that sort of design. It's really easy and simple to use, and there's also a lot of recipes on there as well. A few weeks back I did mention that I was going to make some soup. However, the weather has not been soup weather. We have had a bit of a sort of mini heat wave again, and I just haven't really had the desire to stand in the kitchen at night when it's very hot, it's very humid and clammy, and make soup, because at the moment I'm still enjoying sort of lighter meals, omelettes, salads, sort of chicken with rice, broccoli, any vegetables that I can find, and sort of throwing them all in together. And that's what I'm really enjoying just now. What I will say is, for any of you who haven't tried these before, these are a firm favourite of mine from years and years ago. But the Soreen lunchbox loaves. So these are the banana ones, and they are only 5 cents for one of them. Now, personally for me, one of them you might not think it's worth spending 5 cents on, but they don't cause any mess. They're perfect for popping into your bag for work. Or what I've been doing the last few nights is making myself a nice either cold drink, or maybe like a sort of cup of tea or a green tea, something like that, allowing it to just cool down a little bit, and having one of these Soreen banana bars and just eating it really slowly. It is really filling. I think it sort of hits the sort of satisfaction of having a bit of a cakey type snack, but at the same time I love banana, and this is my favourite one. But they do other ones as well. They do like an apple one, they do an original, which is just normal plain Soreen. It's a little mini loaf, which has got like raisins and things in it. This one doesn't have any fruit in it, so it's often quite good for kids as well, or if yourselves are maybe a little bit not too keen on dried, or sort of like fruit inside things, then that's certainly one to try. And they also do a strawberry one as well. So the strawberry, apple and banana don't have bits in them as such. So again, a really good shout if you want something quite simple. As I said, they are 5 cents, but they're all individually wrapped. They're 95 calories each and only 5 grams of sugar, which I think is really good. They're also school compliant as well, and they've a really good source of fibre. So yeah, I think for me personally, these are cheap. You can pick them up really cheap in Asda's, Tesco's, Morrison's, Home Bargains, whatever it is. You can always get them on offer somewhere. And I think for me, they're a bit of a game changer, just if I do fancy something like a cake. You can also split them in half as well. So if you wanted to add a little bit of butter onto it, if you wanted to make it into sort of like a toasted type of loaf as well, you can do that. Obviously using your sins if you wanted to add anything to it, but again, it's an option if yourselves wanted to do that at home. The other thing that I've been eating a lot of in the last sort of week, myself and my husband, we've been buying sort of Ben's rice. They have been on offer in Asda, which has been really good, and I think at the moment it's any 4 packets for £2.40, I think. Don't quote me on that, but it's round about that price. So the roasted garlic one, I've actually got 2 of the roasted garlic ones. I've also got just plain basmati rice as well, which I quite enjoy for lunch. And knocking everything over, Ben's original spicy Mexican as well. So my husband quite likes this. I haven't had this one myself, but again, they've all got slightly different sin variations on them. But I think they're around about 2 cents a pack, which is pretty good if you are sharing it. It does work out pretty low in cents. But if you are wanting to have the whole amount of rice for, making it with like a curry, or making your own type of sort of biryani style dish, or if you want to have some like vegetables with chicken or anything like that at all, that's a really quick, easy and low sin way to get the flavour. And it's also hassle free. It's really easy to take it around with you. It's portable, so if you did want to take something like that to work, you can cook it straight from the packet at work and just add in your extra bits to it as you go along. I don't have my phone on me at the moment, unfortunately, but as I said, they're all really pretty low in sins. The cheaper versions were often higher in sins, which I did notice in the supermarket. So it's completely up to yourself what you want to do. If you want to save yourself a little bit of money, then fair enough. But you may need to make a little bit of a compromise on the number of sins that you would be eating if you were to have a lower cost packet of rice, for example. Of course, if you wanted to make your rice completely sin free, then absolutely by all means use your rice cooker, your steamer. You can boil your rice, do what you want to do, or do what you normally do if you want to do that. But certainly these have been a real game changer and time saver for us. Now I've got one thing in my freezer that I'm just going to quickly show you. fact, there's another one. Now, the first item was something that I had mentioned to someone on my comment section of my community post just the other day. So these are the Bird's Eye Steam Fresh frozen bags of vegetables. So sweet corn, broccoli and carrots. And these are personally a really firm favourite of mine, and they have been for years. Per bag, 64 calories, and they are all free. So you've got your broccoli speed, your carrots speed food, and you've also got sweet corn in there as well, and that's free. It's not a speed food. If it was baby corn, then it would be a speed food bag of veg, unless you make up your own. But this whole thing is free. There's no sins attached to it. So you get 4 bags inside this sort of larger bag. They turn out perfect every time. Again, they only take a few minutes in the microwave. 3 minutes in the microwave. Your rice takes about 2 minutes in the microwave. So again, if you wanted to have vegetables and rice, you're talking 5 minutes in the microwave with anything else chucked in on top. So if you have any sort of cooked chicken breast, or if you want to keep it sort of vegetarian, you can add in some seasoning, some spices. You know, if you have any vegan or vegetarian meats that you would like to throw in, absolutely, by all means. So it's a really easy, quick way to grab and make things as and when you don't have very much time. So yeah, hopefully these are helpful. These were on offer in Tesco's, which is why I bought them, but I normally do just buy the sort of Tesco's or Asda's equivalent, and they all come in the same sort of bags as well, and again, all around the same calories. And the last item that I want to show you today has been opened, so I do apologise, but for anyone who likes chicken kebab, chicken shawarma, Greek gyros, basically anything to do with sort of kebab takeaway style food, then this is something that you must try. So this is Grill House chicken shawarma kebab meat, which is already cooked and sliced, and you can put it in your air fryer, which I have been doing over the last couple of days. So this is what it looks like, and overall it's a 750 gram bag. Myself and my husband have both had a few portions of it for dinner. It saved us having to buy the real thing from a takeaway, for example, and I've also been able to factor it into my weigh-in day. So my weigh-in day was 2 days ago on Thursday, and this is, unfortunately, I do apologise, the first opportunity that I've had to do this video, but per 100 grams is only 5 cents. So absolutely, if you wanted to use this and you wanted to make up your own sort of kebab style meal, what I'll do is I'll just sort of show you what it looks like, really. So it's just very thinly sliced bits of chicken kebab, chicken shawarma. Absolutely delicious. I cannot tell you how good it smells. It smells really authentic, and we've been putting ours in the air fryer. Now, it does give you air fryer instructions on the back, which is really good. You can cook it in the oven, you can also pan fry it, you can microwave it, but I personally, for me, feel the air fryer is the best option, because as it's cooking in the air fryer, it drains off any excess fat from the meat. And I also put it in for a bit longer than what it says. So on here it advises you to set the temperature to 190. I have actually been putting mine up to 200. And it does say to cook it for 6 minutes, but I've cooked it for 6, given it a shake around, and then put it back in for maybe another 2 minutes, depending on how much meat is in the air fryer, just to give it that slight crisp edge like you would get in a takeaway. So again, 5 cents for 100 grams of this, which is quite a decent amount. And you know, you could have it with rice, you could have it with chips, some royal chips, or you can make your own sin-free chips at home. Or you can add in some sort of seasoning, some peri-peri seasoning, or whatever it is that you want to do with it. And I think really, oh, that's the tripod being knocked over. Come on, Rocco. Then, you know, really, in the grand scheme of things, you could not save yourself as much money by using this compared to getting a takeaway. and you could also not save yourself as many sins by going to takeaway instead. So obviously takeaways are estimated on Someworld's website and app, and obviously you can still go and have a takeaway if you want to have one, but if you are wanting to be that wee bit more sort of cautious or careful, or if you really are wanting to be very strict and track everything that you eat, then this is one for you to definitely consider. And it wasn't expensive, it really wasn't. Now, what they also have in Food Warehouse, this is from Food Warehouse, they also have a My Protein version, which is less sins. Now, I didn't see that initially, I did only see this, but I thought, well, 5 sins for 100 grams is still not bad at all, it's really good. But I think the My Protein one was 2 or 2.5 sins per 100 grams, but the bag is much smaller and it's around the same price. So again, just trying to make that sort of judgment call and sort of decision on what you want to save on sins and what you want to save on money, and just trying to make that bit of a sort of balanced decision and compromise on it. So thank you so much for watching. As I said, £1.5 this week was a little bit less than I expected, but I've had so many non-scale victories that I am really happy and I feel great. Now my birthday is in just over a week's time, so I do have a few planned days out, and I'm going to make good choices, but overall I'm going to be really trying to enjoy myself as much as possible. And if I do have a gain, then actually it's my first gain in the whole time that I've been on Someworld. I really don't want to gain, I want to make sure that I up my exercise and make sure that, you know, I can enjoy everything in moderation, but at the same time, realistically, I only have my birthday once a year, and I don't want to ruin it or put a dampener on it by, you know, declining things that my lovely husband has planned. So it's all about moderation and making sure that the days where it really does count, you can still enjoy yourself. So thank you so much for watching. I apologise for Rocco being around here, but he's actually now back in his bed and staring at me. So thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a real pleasure to do this video for you. If you have any comments or ideas or suggestions or questions, please leave them in the comments section below. And as always, have a good one, and I shall catch you on the next video. So thank you. Bye.